Hello everyone who is predestined to listen to learning Buddha's healing. Admiring monk Minh Tue's practice, wherever he and his brothers went, they were warmly welcomed by the people. However, recently, many clips appeared on social networks with the status lines saying that this monk was mercilessly chased away by two people wearing half-shirts, pointing their fingers at the cemetery, forcing him and his group to pack up and leave. Quickly find another place to stay. So how does this story actually unfold? Previously, when asked about karma, monk Minh Tue once said, "Karma grows in the body." So the question is whether monk Minh Tue is suffering karma on the banks of the HIEN LUONG Bridge or not. We invite you to learn about Buddha's healing and contemplate together. Monk Minh Tue was chased away and not allowed to sleep at the cemetery. Recently, the online community was once again in a stir when YouTubers and TikTokers loudly shared a clip of monk Minh Tue being chased away and not allowed to sleep at the cemetery. During his begging journey on the road across Vietnam, around 6 p.m. on May 28, 2024, monk Thich Minh Tue arrived at a cemetery north of HIEN LUONG Bridge to stay overnight. Before he could sit down, suddenly a few local officials came and asked the monks to go somewhere else. The reason given is that this place does not allow anyone to stay overnight. In the clip, the majority of people pay respect to the true monk. Even the cadre who tucks in and packs the box expresses his wish for the monk to leave, expressed by clasping his hands in invitation. However, some people did not fully understand the meaning and thought that they were rolling their eyes, pointing fingers. In fact, in the clip, the people were talking and exchanging very politely, without scowling or showing a bad attitude towards the monk. Mr. Minh Tue, maybe for some reason, these local managers invited him to move to another place. At the 4th minute, another man appeared, but the man in blue also sincerely invited the monk to go somewhere else. It may also be due to historical and spiritual factors, so the man in the blue shirt is trying to persuade and happily invite the teacher to another place. It is also possible that because there is too much pressure on the crowd, these officials show seriousness. Even when the teacher moved, the officer wearing the blue shirt respectfully clasped his hands and asked him to stand up and explain, and continued to explain, asking him to cross the bridge. Even in the video, the monk also said that he did not go because people were too crowded. He himself wanted to keep the precepts and stay 5 meters away from everyone, but people kept coming closer, taking cameras and filming, making it difficult for him. The moving heart is like begging for alms, the mind will be scattered. Monk Minh himself also advised everyone to respect traffic and the law. The person filming the clip also said that because the people here do not follow Buddhism, they invited the monk to another side. There are also many people who think the man in the blue shirt is very respectful of the teacher. Why does everyone project evil thoughts on him? Isn't it stressful to zoom in on someone's face while standing in front of hundreds of cameras? I saw people inviting him to go normally, but why do people keep making a fuss? There must be some problem for them to invite him to move to another place. People should not be too fanatical. They still need the law to protect them, and these people are doing their role properly. In an interview, a woman could not hide her disappointment and shared, "I am very sad. I am also from Quang Tri. I feel very sorry for the teacher. I've come a long way here. Staying one night is not too big of a deal, but you invited me to another place. I'm also very sad that king's rules are inferior to village customs. Here, people don't follow religion, so it's right to invite you. I'm just a little sad. I hope you have peaceful steps." This person added that she respects him very much because not everyone can withstand the pressure of the weather and go from place to place. It is only Buddha's teachings that make him so extraordinary. Immediately after appearing, the clip quickly attracted the attention of many netizens. Everyone could not help but feel sorry for Monk Min Tue's situation. Many people also expressed sympathy for the victims. Local officials are trying their best to ensure the local situation and do not want any conflicts to occur, so both sides choose to make peace with a polite and humble attitude. Level. Just look at the man in the blue shirt, bowing his hands and addressing the beggar as a monk, and I understand. However, there are some negative comments about them. Some comments from the online community. How blessed are the places where Monk Thich Min Tue's footsteps come. It's okay for you to sow your fate here. Amitabha Buddha. I hope Monk Min Tue and the other monks have good health and peace on their path of practice. They didn't fire him. They just invited him to another place. Don't misunderstand and blame the local administrators. Each person has a task. If a crowd gathers and causes trouble, who will solve it? Or when other side stories happen, who is responsible? Each person's life has a different job, so don't be too angry and cling to your karma. Besides, the monk has repeatedly said that even if he is beaten or gets sick, it is his own karma. Karma is created by ourselves. Evidenced by the saying, "Karma grows in the body." Monk Min Tue nervously shouted to the group of people following him. Even though people used to call him Monk Min Tue, Teacher Min Tue, he still said that he did not preach, did not accept disciples, did not recognize himself as a teacher or monk, but was just a citizen. Vietnam is learning to practice austerities according to Buddha's teachings. But then Mr. Min Tue himself did not understand why. Every step he took today caused a lot of chaos. The disturbance was not caused by himself, but by the streams of people following him wherever he was. They turned every place he passed into a stage, with Mr. Tue walking in the middle, surrounded by cameras pointing straight at him. On May 20th, Mr. Thich Min Tue moved to Hoan Sun Quan, Heaven's Gate on top of Ingang Pass on the border of Ha Tin and Quang Binh provinces, and went deep inside to stop and had a plan to retreat, to avoid being disturbed. However, because this was a violation of the precepts, he went down the mountain to continue his journey. After Mr. Min Tue came down the mountain, we had the opportunity to meet him in Quang Trak District, Quang Binh Province. Surprisingly, even when Mr. Min Tue spoke up about not wanting too many people to gather, the flow of people still showed no signs of cooling down, even with some groups calling themselves protectors, guiding Mr. Thich Min Tue on the path of practice. looking at the whole group of people scurrying around the street, the cameras running after them, pointing them at their faces, the bodyguards shouting to clear the road, the people walking in front clearing the path and spreading flowers, will make anyone who witnesses it unable to help. Surprised? Is this simply a monk or some A-list star with hundreds of crazy fans following him? From the national highway to the village roads, even though Mr. Tue and a small number of people said, "Don't turn around anymore, don't follow anymore," the crowd still ignored them. People follow him for many different purposes. Some people come because they admire a true monk, some people come because of the word curiosity, and most of them are YouTubers, TikTokers. What they are interested in are Mr. Minh's most realistic images. Tue, to broadcast live on my channel. They were carrying large and small backpacks loaded on a motorbike filled with homemade filming items for the long journey with no known destination. They happily shared with us about traveling from Binh Duong to find the place where Monk Minh Tue walked to livestream, who boasted that he had been following Mr. Tue for 21 days today. All just cherish the dream of a video with 1 million views, number of views, or live streams with thousands of eyes, number of live viewers. Here you go, 7,400 eyes, followers, right now. Despite social networks attacking this behavior, the authorities tried to disperse the crowd. No matter how much Mr. Minh Tue begged, TikTokers and YouTubers still stubbornly followed him to produce content. Because these people know that he is a lucrative bait to help them increase followers and increase advertising money. Before that, many videos recorded scenes of people groping around with flashlights at 3 to 4 a.m., carrying things under their arms, into the forest looking for him. Only today did we see with our own eyes, even when Mr. Minh Tue stopped at the gas station just to go to the bathroom, there were still many people gathering to look around or even stick their phones and cameras through the window. Tiny ventilation so one can see the scene inside. Perhaps these people have forgotten that, before becoming a monk, Mr. Minh Tue was still a Vietnamese citizen and was fully protected by the state for all his legitimate and legal rights. That includes protecting privacy. Monk Minh Tue also believes that he is not a Buddhist monk. There is no need to kneel and bow, but to do good deeds is the best way to pay homage. These people go to film for fun, not to study. Doing so is very disruptive. There is no time to rest, nor can they go to the bathroom, Mr. Minh Tue said helplessly. Just like some comments on social networks, perhaps these people are the tribulation Mr. Minh Tue had to go through during his practice. The crowd overflowed onto Highway 1A, and the authorities strained to keep traffic order. National Highway 1A, the main route passing through half of Vietnam's provinces and cities, connecting the length of the country, but the days Mr. Minh Tue passed through, there was always congestion. And then, volunteers appeared from nowhere, equipped with a high-powered dust blower to clear the way for Mr. Minh Tue even though he did not know who they were. They blew dust and sand straight into people's faces. Another group continuously plucked yellow chrysanthemum petals and scattered them on the road. A group followed behind, taking pictures, shouting to clear the road, and even blocking the cars of people on the move and a team of guards to avoid Mr. Min Tue being approached on the road or at places to rest and enjoy life. Real. It is not certain whether Mr. Min Tue needs this protection or not, but they have certainly increased the danger, distractions, for the people living where he accidentally passes by. There aren't many people in this area. There are only a few people working in the fields and not doing anything else. Mostly curious people followed the filming. I know Monk Min Tue, but they just do their work, and the people in my village think it's normal," said a local resident. They themselves seem normal, but are suffering daily abnormalities from a group of people who come from nowhere. To ensure traffic order and safety, the local police force and traffic police have been strengthened to keep the security situation stable, coordinate vehicle traffic, and avoid collisions with people. Looking at the large and chaotic group of TikTokers and YouTubers, a person in the working group to protect order said, "On the section of National Highway 1A currently, there are a lot of cars running. There are few people traveling, but there are many people gathering. Teacher, wherever I pass, people gather there, blocking traffic, so the district is required to dispatch police to assist on this stretch of road. Long lines of tractors, containers, keep rolling slowly on the road." The traffic police force was also forced to unusually work overtime to ensure the safety of the area. A regional traffic police officer also said he had been deployed to ensure safety on National Highway 1A for 4 days. Even though she was walking in the pedestrian lane, because it was so crowded, sometimes some people spilled onto her path. While blocking the bridge and guiding the car along the new route, this police officer couldn't help but feel frustrated. "You have to do that, sir. They only walk in the pedestrian lane, but there are too many people and the risk of accidents is also high." The group of people continued to follow Mr. Min Tue without knowing where to stop. Traffic on the north-south arterial axis also followed suit and continued to clog the roads he passed. 6 years have passed. Mr. Min Tue is still the same. Still calloused feet, tan skin, thin body. Still a robe assembled from scraps of fabric from hundreds of families. Still a good heart to practice. Or maybe the big change is that the group of people following him showed no signs of stopping. A company banned the practice of going to temples because of Monk Min Tue. Recently on social networks appeared an announcement from a service company about "Stop going to temple on the first day of every lunar month." It is known that the recent phenomenon, Min Tue, has had an impact on the decisions of the company's board of directors. Sharing with the press, this company representative shared that this is information circulated internally and wants to change the company's culture. He said, "From the time I worked in a real estate company until after establishing an information technology company, I always created culture for the company, maintaining the habit of going to temple on the first day. Recently, we wanted to change the culture when we decided to stop going to the temple on the first day of the lunar month and transfer the money, which is the fund collected from employees who violate the rules such as being late, to the purpose of other. Not only does it affect people in the country, The fact that Monk Minh Tue wears a patched shirt to beg for alms also has an impact on overseas Vietnamese. Many people, not afraid of long distances, flew back to Vietnam to pay their respects to Monk Minh Tue. Most recently, a nun flew from Australia to Vietnam just to meet Monk Minh Tue. This nun even went barefoot to meet her teacher to pay her respects. In an interview, the nun slowly replied, "I want to ask Monk Minh Tue to walk behind him, at a distance and not beg together. She wants to experience." The nun added, "The weather in Australia is very fresh. But when it's hot here, when I go with you, in the morning I want to take off my sandals, but when it's hot, I'll wear sandals." Hearing these true experiences, many people advised the nun to wear sandals because after all she is a woman. Her health will not be as strong as the strength of a man. A few days ago, a Buddhist from England flew back to meet Monk Minh Tue and was given a rice cooker, something the monk always carries with him to beg for alms. Appreciating the feelings of the true monk, this person kept it in glass and kept it like a precious item. So in short, there was no such thing as a monk being chased away or a cadre showing a bad attitude, but respectfully inviting the monk to another place to stop. Buddhists believe in Buddha but must also obey the law and religion. Up to now it cannot be denied that YouTubers and TikTokers have enthusiastically recorded footage so that people far away can follow the monk's journey. CHASED Minh Tue. However, the monk himself was nervous and spoke up, thinking we should respect his privacy. Make your vows, dedicate yourself to the path of practice, follow the Buddha's Dharma and follow the peaceful footsteps of Monk Minh Tue. How should we follow the Buddha and the monks in this time of the end of the Dharma? Thank you for watching all of this video. If you find it useful, please subscribe to the channel, like and share for everyone to see.